Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Toyota Yaris. It's a 1.3 T3 model, and the car is registered KC06VWR with a mileage of 85,846 miles. The reason we do the videos, especially these road test videos, is essentially so that any of our cars that are online being advertised can be viewed in real time in video form, actually on the road. And the reason we feel it's important is really simple. It's because, like so many people, we've been to see cars which have looked, absolutely fine in photographs and descriptions, only to get there and drive them and find out they've got issues which you'd much rather known about before setting off. So hence that's why we do it. So coming to the car itself, car's come in as a part exchange to us with a wonderful service history, just been MOT'd, just been serviced. I think it's been serviced, from memory, it's like 15 times or something. It's amazing, but it feels it, I have to say, because it feels as tight as a drum in every single way. Engine starts absolutely instantly and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And it's just a lovely engine to sit behind day in, day out, because it's smooth, it's willing, it's typical Japanese four-cylinder. It's just got that kind of eagerness to rev, and it allows you to rev the car without it getting harsh and thrashy, which some other small cars feel. The whole car feels like a much bigger car in terms of kind of the quality of the vehicle itself, compared to kind of, especially its main rivals. It can feel very lightweight in comparison to this. The engine, as I said, no warning lights. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch in the car absolutely perfect. Bike points exactly where it's meant to be, and it's lovely and smooth in operation. And a gearbox, 5-speed box, again typical Japanese. They do these better than anybody else. It's slick, it's positive, it's precise in its actuations. It's absolutely fine, and that feels pretty much as it would have done when it was new. It's a very satisfying box to use. So coming to the steering and chassis, and this is, I think, where it separates itself from loads in its class, because as I said, the whole feel of the car is of a much more grown-up vehicle. It feels heavier on the road in a good way than lots of little cars do. They can feel kind of bouncy and lightweight and bobbing around and energetic, but quite tiring. This is very refined, I have to say. Steering is really nicely weighted. It's got a lovely kind of natural weighting to it, which feels, it's light but heavy at the same time in a bizarre way. It's very easy to use, but it feels beautifully weighted. It's also nice and accurate and precise when you go through the corners. It's not a sports car, it's far from it, but it's a car that is very, very pleasant to drive. It also, by the way, there's no wheel wobble at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. The car tracks absolutely dead straight. Chassis of the car, again, what I'm looking for on these road tests, and there's a particularly nasty bump, if I time this right, coming up in a few seconds time. Just to come up here. That one there, it's horrible. But it's a good test for the car. Just listening out for any kind of clonks or rattles, which you may get on a car, it's 16 years old, and yet it feels, as I said, so tight on the road. Chassis gives you this very, very comfortable ride, but also when you go through the corners, you're not getting huge body roll. It's still keen to change direction, which is why they're great cars for all sorts of roads. You can drive long A road trips, motorway trips quite quietly, because I'm at the legal limit virtually now, and not having to raise my voice much at all. Obviously its main domain is nearly always sort of city centres, and they're brilliant for that. They're just it's a wonderful car in that respect. So coming inside the car, not cleaned it yet, it will be cleaned. It's very, very clean in here. I think it's just going to swing around here a second. If I can pull out before that chap. It's a long way behind, so quite safe. So yeah, it's got a sorry, just completely distracted for a second. Saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I wanted to see what it was. Yeah, coming back to the car. So just going to give the brakes a bit of a shove as well. Make sure they're good. And they are indeed. I know they're good anyway. They've been through the MOT and they're absolutely fine. But they feel powerful and positive on the road. And then coming inside, the first thing you're struck by any small Japanese cars, of course, the build quality. They are brilliantly put together cars. No squeaks or rattles in here at all. It's absolutely solid as a rock. Lovely dashboard to sit behind. You've got this lovely kind of, they did for the first generation, the Yaris, this kind of hologram effect, rev counter and speedo in the centre there, which is lovely to use, I have to say. Centre stack, radio, all working perfectly. The only thing that I'd say either doesn't work or might not work, but might work with a bit of gas, is the air conditioning. I can't get cold air. I've got the light on there. Tried it at a warm workshop and there wasn't cold air coming out. It may be as simple as regas. It might not be on this age car. It may be compressor, condenser, but we don't make any claims to the air conditioning to be working. Other than that, electric windows, central locking, electric wing mirrors, all working perfectly. The car drives absolutely fantastically well, I have to say. If you've got any questions at all, don't hesitate, do give us a call.